who is responsible for these responses? There's no signature. There is no response to address to the chairperson. So what are we reading here? Documents written and then forwarded? Who is responsible? Not a single document can be pointed to a particular person. I'm also concerned on two issues. The auditors, why would you receive documents which have not been signed? Our secretariat, why would you receive documents which have not been signed? I have sat in this committee and I've gone through thousands of documents, and all those documents that I've gone through, they have always been signed by a particular person. So even before entertaining any responses from the county government, I like the direction that my colleague is taking. I only would like to re-emphasize on the following, that what we need is a special audit for these funds. Because you might end up finding that some of these funds were being used during the campaigns. You know? We cannot be playing with pastoralist lives. We cannot be playing with people who really have been terrorized, stigmatized for many years, and then now when we have a system of governance that tries to bring some form of equity, we don't give a hoot in hell. So, Mr. Chairman, I think this is a matter that we discuss as a committee. You give directions. There's nothing to entertain from this dysfunctional county government.
So let me say this. Let's listen to Governor, and then I give direction, because members, I think we are repeating ourselves.
Thank you, Chair.
The issues you have raised are valid, and you are repeating. Let's hear the Governor, and then I give direction.
Thank you, Chair. With all due respect, Chair, it is very unfair for some members of this committee to adjudge us by what was happening in 2017-2018. It is very unfair on the part of some senators saying that county government should be dissolved because of misappropriation which has happened 7 years before I became the governor for Isiolo, Chair. It is disrespectful for the people of Isiolo, who overwhelmingly elected me as a governor, to run that government for the next 5 years, Chair, for a senator to say that we are incompetent and the county government should be dissolved. Chair, how can you judge me because of something which has happened when I was an MC in Nairobi, Chair? I know the bag stops with me, Chair, but you cannot expect me as a governor to go and procure a document where there is none. You cannot expect me, Chair, to come up with a financial statement of 2017 where there is none, Chair. It is very unfair, Chair. As much as we want to respond to all queries which has been raised by the auditor's office, we face a lot of challenges, Chair, to get some of this document. I will want Chair to you, Secretary, to judge me by the report of 2022-2023, 2023-2024, when I was a governor for Isiolo. Chair, if you look at these queries, for example, query number 1 of 2019-2020, the issue of late submission of 2019-2020 financial statement. If there was a late submission, how do you expect county government to answer? We should agree with the observation of the Auditor General. It is true. There was late submission of the financial statement, and it is upon us to cure that. What kind of answer do senators expect from us? If there was a late submission of financial statement by the previous government, so it is unfair for the part of senators to say that Isiolo County should be dissolved because of audit queries of 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021, when I was an MC for Nairobi, Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just on one quick rejoinder. Just allow me to rejoin on one particular issue. Article 179, Mr. Chairman, spells out who has got the executive authority of a county government. It is absolutely ludicrous to hear a governor saying that we are judging him wrong. The first thing that governor should have done is to make sure that the document that he's submitting here are properly submitted. Because government are created to last for generations. So the first thing Governor Guyo should have done is not to submit documents which do not have ownership here. If you want us to judge you fairly, the first thing you should have done is to make sure that whatever you're submitting here, you've owned up and said, I take responsibility. In my submission, Mr. Chairman and Governor Guyo, I have alluded to the fact that it will be important to summon the former governor to be able to understand certain things. But on your part, you have failed in submitting documents which can make sense in this committee. Yes, you're right to some extent by saying, what do you expect me to do? And I will tell you what I expect you to do is to make sure that whatever you're submitting makes sense. This does not make sense. Could be a document picked from anywhere else and the subject changed to Isiolo. No ownership. So when you come here and say that senators are being unfair to you, just know that you're dealing with experienced men and women who burned the midnight oil to go through this documentation to ensure fiduciary responsibility. So I take your comment with great exception because they don't make sense.
Okay, members, I think the issues.
Chair, can I say something
just a moment.
before you make a ruling?
You know, I need to give direction because we are repeating ourselves.
You can't give direction.
No, we are repeating ourselves over the same things. The issues that we have
raised.
raised.
But there has to be clarity
Are
because,
valid.
Chair, without respect, I never
Proceed.
I never disobey your orders in this committee.
Proceed.
And Chair, we are talking about very serious matter here. And I would want the Senator for Isiolo perhaps to speak, but this is the thing. Governor, we go through myriad of funds. We have had counties appear before us here with the same challenges. If you are keen on the proceeding of the Senate, you've never had a senator pronounced on other governors who appear before us here. We have had governors appearing before us here where documents had not been submitted for previous years. And why do we find a middle ground with them? It's because of the quality of submission of their documents, despite the fact that they were not governors when those misnomers happened during their time. It is the quality of submission that is sent here. And that quality judges the functionality of those counties. And my pronouncement on the solution of Isiolo is on the fact that it's not functioning. And it's not me saying, it is your document saying. How do you as a CEO in Isiolo feel comfortable about that fact? Do you want the state to come and help you account for them?
Okay, please summarize so that.
I'm done.
Okay, Senator Dullo, your last comment.
Chair, I really don't want to say much, but as my colleagues have said, this response is not addressed to anybody. And I've been in this Senate for almost 12 years. I've never seen anything like this. Never. Because it must have a covering letter signed by either the governor or the county secretary. But this is a nobody document because it's not addressed to anybody. Number two, on the issue of late disbursement, Governor, if there was late disbursement, you should actually have attached an evidence to show that there was a late disbursement. We will agree with you to some extent. Number two, if you don't find documents, you come and tell us you don't find the documents. We will hold those who are there responsible. This is taxpayers' money. I know there are some people in Isiolo saying I'm fighting the county government, and yet I'm not fighting for funds to go to the county government. I was in mediation committee where I fought for the funds to go to Isiolo County. I remember in the last Senate, I was in leadership position where I told the previous regime, take my leadership position instead of actually voting for a formula that was affecting my county. Looking at all these evidences that you have, responses that you have given, they are saying no evidence attached. The least we would have expected you to do is actually to provide an evidence on whatever has happened. I sit in PAC, and you can imagine the current controller of budget will summon him to come and account for money that was allocated to the previous regime. You cannot tell us you will not be able to account for monies allocated to Isiolo because you are not there. You are in Nairobi then. You are the current CEO. You must account for it in whatever way possible. If you can't find documents, say you don't find documents. If there are late submissions, say there are late submissions. Those are the things we need to hear from you. So I think, Chair, with the current response that we have, which I believe, how many pages is it? Is it 3? 3 pages in response to those queries. And what I have from Auditor General, as far as the response is concerned, there are 6 pages actually analyzing your report. 6 pages. And yours are 3 pages. So I think, Chair, we have to make a decision, but thank you very much.
It been accompanied with a letter that is signed, the letter which was done on 13th June.
Chair, where are they? They are not in this, they are not here.
No, I'm coming to that point. The letter that was done on 13th June 2024, but this letter has been signed by the CEC for Education. Aline Kajuju, you are the one. So the position is that whatever you submit to the auditor should be the same as what you submit to the clerk. There should not be any variation, because it looks like what you submitted to the auditor did not have this letter. You only sent to the clerk. Number 2, the letter to this committee must either be signed by the governor himself or the county secretary, not the CEC for that particular function. So that is issue number 1. The issue number 2, which has been raised by senators, was on lack of submission of financial statement. I think previously, before you came in, we had addressed that issue in the preliminaries, and the governor explained that there were no legislation in place, and therefore there was no money that was appropriated then, and therefore there were no financial statement. The county has gone further and done the amendment, the legislation, which has been passed by the county assembly. But that aside, Governor, the issues that senators have raised on adequacy of the responses are valid. And if I can pick an example, late submission of financial statement. This one, our expectation was that you give the same response like what you gave during the preliminaries. You just say there was no legislation and therefore money could not be appropriated and therefore there were no financial statements. That looks very valid instead of what has been stated here. The other important point, Governor, you know, as senators of this committee, our hands are tied. We have to look at the financial statements, the financial audit reports for your county, upon which we will now do a report as a committee. If we are unable to do a report, that means that those audited reports will not have been reviewed by the Senate, and most likely it implies we will not be able to get to your audited report. And that implies that someone else will come to answer when you have left office, to answer your issues, which now becomes a complication. So what we are looking forward to is a situation where the county government of Isiolo will help this committee to process your audited reports by doing a report. And based on what has been submitted, we are unable to do a report. So I therefore direct that we give you more time.
Kindly, Chair, before you do your directions, and
Yes.
you know I have a lot of respect for you,
Yes.
and I would not want to alter your directions, but our standing orders, I think 1 of 5, binds us to responsibility of facts. I've listened to what you say that the county government had alluded to the fact that no money had been appropriated. If you go to the Public Audit Act section 31, during the entry interview, that information should have been provided to the Auditor Generals. And I believe the Auditor General, through their wisdom and through looking at the documentation, and you know that they have access to the bank statements, were able to determine that there were financials or transactions and the county government did not submit on them. So, Mr. Chairman, I don't believe giving this county time will help. I wish that your direction would be towards a special audit by the Auditor General of these funds, and then, subject to that, we can then summon the former governor to appear before this committee with the current governor to be able to ensure that if there is any money loss, then the law will take its course. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you look at section 47(1) of the Public Audit Act, which the Auditor General has cited, that has been contravened, there are consequences that follows. So we cannot just come in as a Senate and say, we agree with the fact that there are no documents. We don't have all the facts here. The Auditor General has gone through the financial statements of that fund. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to beseech you to point towards a special audit, and especially because of the sentiments of my colleague, or rather my colleagues, all of them, to ensure fiduciary responsibility. I would like to beseech you to follow that direction.
I do not want to open up a debate on this again because members.
Chair,
No. I need to give direction.
Special fund. I think you have left out special fund,
Which one?
the emergency fund, where the county is saying they have not appropriated money, but they have been actually utilizing the budget under executive, which the auditors have confirmed.
Yeah,
Can we have a special audit on that?
I'll come to that. So,
Chair,
honorable members,
just a point of order,
I
Chair.
do not want to open a debate.
No, not a point, not
We need
a
to-
debate, Chair.
Yes.
Just a point
What's
of
your
order.
point of order?
Chair, just want to beg
Yeah.
that perhaps you allow the governor to walk out. Let us consult as a committee before we make some final recommendations about this matter. I'm just pleading with you.
I second that.
Because we have dealt with this matter before, a matter of similar nature. Clearly, the earlier years, that is 2019, 2020, we had a problem with the financial statement, and therefore the committee cannot make progress. So the committee has decided that they will request for a special audit. They will identify specific issues that they want addressed in the special audit, and then communicate to the Office of the Auditor General on the same to do a special audit. The second issue is even as the special audit is being done, we will have to proceed with reviewing the audited reports that we have so far. That is for these 3 years, and therefore the clerk will look at the schedule and set another date for this meeting. But before that, you will have to make fresh responses to the audit queries. And those fresh responses, Madam CEC, will have to be signed by the governor himself or the county secretary as per the requirements. So you really need to go back. You have been there, you were there before, and assist your governor and your team to come up with the proper responses to the issues that the Auditor General has raised. So a new date will be provided to you to appear before this committee with the new responses. So therefore, what has been submitted, it is now going to be withdrawn so that you provide us with the required responses as suggested by the members. But meanwhile, so that we are able to help you with your audited accounts for 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025, we will have to clear this matter through the special audit and through the new responses that you are going to provide. So those are the directions from the committee on this matter. And our interest is to ensure that Isiolo County Government reports are processed by Senate in the right manner, so that we do not have a pile of issues that are outstanding with the Senate. And that really helps you as a governor, so that you do not, when you are away from this seat, you are not called to come and respond to the issues long after you have left office. So those are the directions that we have given, honorable members. So I will allow the governor. Okay, we will have to adjourn the meeting to today at 2:32. We are having a meeting today at 2. I do not want to allow comments, please. Please.
No, you've given a direction.
We have given direction.
And it's important.
Yeah.
It's important for us to really guide this county, because what we are hearing, and I'm not the kind of person to bring what we see on social media to Parliament because of limitation, but it is important that all of us remember that power is transient. Governor, there are certain statements that are being alleged that you've made which are counterproductive. I want to advise you, my friend, to remember that power is transient. We are given an opportunity to serve our people. The time, if God allows you 10 years to be a governor, and I pray to God that He does, when you retire and you're sitting under a tree with your age mates, you need to reflect on a conversation that you're going to have on what you've done for your people. This Senate is a creation of the Constitution. Article 96 gives us the sole mandate to oversight counties. So when we hear, and I'm speaking as the whip of the Senate, because we get complaints from other committees, the Health Committee, PIC Committee came, you guys decided to run away. Remember, we have the powers to stop resources from coming. The Cabinet Secretary did stop resources from going to other counties a while ago. And then the governors ran to the Senate for assistance. So you can't bake your cake and eat it. So my advice to you, Governor, is please, just be careful on what you say, because it might haunt you. You may show discontent, or you don't care. But remember, governments come and go. And even if maybe you're fully protected by this government, those files are never closed. They will one day be reopened. So remember, we are here to serve the people. And everything that we have alluded to here, and this is why, Mr. Chairman, I was insisting that we must say, is that we cannot have a governor who every time the health committee is fining you for not appearing. You know, they are looking at Article 125 of the Constitution, which gives the Senate the power to call for the arrest of the witness to be brought before the Senate to respond. We have Section 19 of our Powers and Privileges Act. These are laws that must be respected. So, Mr. Chairman, as you've given this county 14 days to be able to submit information, we hope that even the direction you've given to the Auditor General, we can make sense of this documentation. I don't want to waste taxpayers' money to come and sit down here and just smile and walk away. I want to be judged by the kind of work that I do. So, Mr. Governor, please remember what I said, power is transient.
Very well. Members, you know, I do not want to open up debate.
Yeah,
Please. We have talked about the same thing. We're repeating ourselves. We have spent time here. We have given direction.
I mean, it is fair.
I think it's only fair that Governor and please don't repeat what has been said.
I'm not repeating, but it's
So that we close this meeting and prepare for the afternoon meeting. It's not fair to repeat.
Chair.
You have said these things.
I'm not repeating anything.
We have given direction. The chair has given
Chair, I'm
direction.
a competent senator. Yes. I cannot repeat myself in things.
Yeah, but don't repeat what Senator Ledama has said. It is well noted.
Chair,
And then we move on.
Chair, just to address you directly, with a lot of respect. The governor we are having here was not invited.
He was summoned.
He was summoned.
We have processed the summon. It was a preliminary issue.
No, but the fact that he was summoned means that there's a problem in Isiolo. And there's a problem with the governor. Why is it when the governor comes here, you don't have to address him? We don't want to summon him again because the issue of summon is because of lack of cooperation, both in terms of just appearing before the Senate as well as taking the fiduciary responsibility of the governor to Isiolo people and making the documents right. So Chair, I don't want to go into what Ledama has talked about, but Governor, if you've got 2 years, I will invite you to hear and hopefully act on them. For your direction, and we welcome the special audit for the funds, and I know the truth shall set everyone free. Chairman, through you, I was elected here in Nairobi for 15 years, Chair. That is a clear attest to what of
Chair.
Let me finish, Chair. Protect me, Chair.
That is
Chair, protect me.
Chair. We will not allow this governor
Because I have noted some things moving around.
not allow this governor.
You cannot intimidate me, Chair. You cannot
Let
intimidate
him
me.
focus on
You
the
cannot intimidate me, Ledama, Elekina. You cannot intimidate me.
Chairman,
And I'm not going to allow you to intimidate me.
We will not.
I'm not going to allow you to intimidate me.
You are not coming to.
You cannot intimidate me.
Chair.
You cannot intimidate me.
Of Kenya, we will not allow a governor.
All out of
We will not allow a governor. Chair, we will not allow a governor to disrespect the Senate.
He cannot disrespect this house.
Respect is a two-way. I cannot allow you principal to politicize this committee's
Governor Ledama is on the issue that you've been asking.
No.
You do not digress. We don't
I cannot allow you to intimidate me, Senator. No.
We will intimidate you. We will deal with you. Chair,
your meeting is adjourned until 2.
You cannot intimidate me, Senator Ledama. I was not elected to be intimidated by you.
Neither was I elected to allow incompetence in this house. We control this meeting. Governor, Chair, we don't allow governors to come here and say, we know, we're not kids. We will let you run the meeting on your own.